back to your point about barbarism. Look, in Mosaic law, in the Old Testament, the 10 Commandments, yes, God has given this law, eye for an eye, life for a life. If somebody kills someone, they have to give their own life as a punishment. That was from God.
There's nowhere in the Bible that I've read does it say an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
That is the Mosaic law. I can show you too. No, law of Moses. Moses was given this law. This is a law Jesus didn't come to abandon and reject. He didn't say, I've come to destroy the law.
It's not a commandment.
No, it's in the Bible.
But we cannot call it barbaric because God said so. You might not like it because you're saying, how can we kill someone?
You don't live your life by the Old Testament.
No, we're in the Old Testament, we're now in the New Testament, the New Covenant, obviously.
Jesus came down to
dispel the Old Covenant.
He didn't come to destroy, he said, I came to fulfill.
Yeah.
Fulfilling doesn't mean you go away, get away with the old laws.
He finished the Old Covenant.
You see? Now, so now if you think about it,
and he started
the
New Covenant.
So whatever law is abrogated, you're saying?
Is what?
Abrogated. It's no longer applicable.
Yes, of course.
But to say that once God gave that law as someone is a barbaric law would not be fair, because if indeed that those laws came from God, then God's in His wisdom He gave a just law. To give you, let me give you a simple example. You see, we don't expect people to kill one another. Killing.
Right.
If the punishment for killing was £20 fine in this country, do you think it's gonna stop people killing each other, reduces crime? The crime remains the same or increase?
I would imagine it would increase.
It will increase because the crime and the punishment is not congruent, it doesn't match. If the punishment is £20, someone I've got 30 quid, I've got 40 quid, I can get away to murder. It's not going to prevent them. But if you say, if you kill someone unjustly, you will be killed in return, they'll be thinking twice. It has a deterrent effect.
Years ago.
Yeah, and that is why in many countries which stop doing that, the crime rate has not come down, because the crime rate continues. You put them behind bars and they gather together to make a better criminal when they come out, and that's what they do. Plan, plot, and they will come out and commit the crime again. Yeah. Islam says it gives you harsh punishment as a deterrent effect, so that they don't do that.
Cut your hand off for stealing.
So that, do you know what this did?
Yeah,
because of this law in Saudi Arabia, even 100 years ago, when it came to prayer time, we have 5 prayer times, specific times, like say in the midday, in 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, midday prayer. There's the call to pray, Allahu Akbar, from the mosque. People, they don't have to lock their shops.
No.
Imagine there's a merchandise with valuable commodities. They'll put a piece of cloth over it and they'll just go to prayer. Come back without locking. Because there are people, they know that if they're gonna steal something, their hands will be cut off. Yeah. So it stopped people from committing this crime because it's effective. Historically known, it's demonstrated. It's not because it's trying to cut the people's hands off, it's trying to stop the crime from being committed. So when Islam came with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Quran came with its own evidence. Because otherwise you would say, how am I going to believe in this book? Every prophet that came, they had some proof and evidence for their claim. When Moses came, how did people believe in him? Just because he said so? No. When he parted the Red Sea and he traveled along that dry part, it wasn't evidence against them, but this is not an ordinary person can do. When Jesus healed the blind and the lepers and so on, no doctor at that time could do it. Yeah. They knew that he was indeed an agent of God, a messenger of God. That is his miracle that he did. When Prophet Muhammad came, he did so many miracles, and the greatest of his miracles is the Quran, that no one can imitate it. No one can find a contradiction within it. Things that it says, it is impossible for it to have been said.
I don't think there's much or anything in the Bible that you can say contradict or argue against.
The Bible, unfortunately, because human hands have altered it, it is now having contradictions within
I
it.
imagine that
To give
human
you-
memory might have
Yeah.
swayed a little in the writings of the Quran.
Yeah, the human beings are
Well, they're at fault.
fault.
Yeah.
Exactly. The Quran, because it's going to be the final book of God, final revelation, God took in the protection himself, as the Quran says. Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun.
That means nothing.
No, I'm just quoting you the Arabic so that I'm not making it up. I'm telling you, the Quran says that God, He has revealed the reminder and He will protect it, He says. And the Quran has been protected through memorization and writing. You can find a manuscript of the Quran, within the first 100 years of Islam, like 1300 years ago, and exactly how we read it today. This is the level of preservation. So if you read the Quran,
1300 years.
1400 years ago, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ came. He came 1400 years ago.
I thought that Jesus was 2,000 years ago.
Prophet Muhammad.
If you believe Jesus and your writings about Jesus are from 1400 years ago, you're 600 years adrift.
The Quran came after Christ had already been.
Yeah, but
And the Quran
Bible
came
after Christ, but only by a couple of hundred years.
Yeah.
Yours is 600.
No. What we are saying is the same God revealed, sent down another messenger after Christ, and also told us within this final revelation the errors and the falsehood that has crept in within the revelation, within the Torah and the Gospels, and confirm the truth that was already there present.
By the revelation, are you talking about the end times revelation?
No, I'm talking about
In the Bible.
inspiration, guidance from God, not a book of revelation, but God's guidance is His scripture. So when God sends another scripture, He confirms the truthfulness of the previous scriptures, whatever is there, and also gives us the confirmation of the falsehood that is entered within it. There are many things, even the scholars of the Bible will tell you that people have corrupted the Bible with these falsehood. With this falsehood. This is the matter of scholarship. So the Quran came to give us the final guidance without any confusion, so that we can truly worship God and be content and be saved from the hellfire and be in paradise. And this is only way possible by submitting ourselves to the final messenger, that what is brought from God.
Okay.
You take care, Peter. Please do read the Quran.
You have to read the Quran.
You have to read the Quran, read about Prophet Muhammad, and then you will see what we're talking about. Okay? Nice. Pleasure speaking to you, Carol and Peter. You take care. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. آخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.